Paris Hilton has been around for some time, being the great-granddaughter of Conrad Hilton, who started the Hilton hotel chain. To no surprise, she grew up among other socialites like Kim Kardashian, who was her former assistant, and Nicole Richie.
Of course, Paris would also rise to fame after starring as herself in The Simple Life alongside Nicole Richie, and for her infamous tape appropriately titled One Night in Paris. To this day, the title of that tape still makes me laugh, and for good reason.
However, quite recently, Paris released a documentary about her life and opened up about her past, which gave fans of the entrepreneur a look into her life like we've never seen before.
It seems the doc was made to redefine her brand as Paris Hilton, but a lot of information was shared about the former reality star that got the people talking. And today on InformOverload, we're counting down the top 10 Paris Hilton facts you didn't know.
Welcome back to InformOverload. I'm your host, Bree Room.
And I'm your other host, Jared Bronstein. Be sure to click that playlist button if you'd like to catch some similar videos. Somewhere here. It's like you just...
It's over there somewhere. And stick around until the end for some bonus content, but for now, let's get into things.
At number 10, she's got size 11 feet. Not that there's anything wrong with having large feet, and it's also important to remember that a woman's foot size isn't equivalent to a male's. Still, with that being said, a size 11 woman's shoe is size 9 men's, which means her feet aren't much smaller than mine. In her 2006 autobiography, she explained, I quote, "Okay, I admit it, I desperately hate one thing about my body, I have size 11 feet. It sucks because I see all these super cute shoes in stores, Gucci's, YSL's, Manilows, and when they're brought out in my size, they look like clown shoes on me. I can't wear flats because my feet are too long. At least high heels shrink how long my feet look. But forget ever seeing me in ballet slippers or tennis shoes, I'd look like I was wearing canoes." She has her own footwear line, and to no surprise, no flats.
At number 9, she has 42 stores worldwide. Paris may have a rocky reputation, but she's still an incredible businesswoman. She has 42 stores around the world that carry her merchandise, from shoes to perfume to handbags and more. Paris is making a killing from the things she sells worldwide. It is estimated that she makes over $10 million annually from her stores. Her 42nd store was opened in Saudi Arabia in late 2012, and this opening ended up ruffling quite a few feathers because of its location. The store was opened in the holy city of Mecca, and a lot of people thought that she went too far by opening the luxury store in the sacred city. It seems like officials there made an exception for Hilton to have her store there, and she's still raking in the dough, but did it go too far? I don't know.
Moving on to number 8, she legally trademarked "That's hot." If you grew up watching The Simple Life or you just remember the early 2000s, then you likely remember every other word that came from Paris's mouth was "That's hot." It really added to the brand of Paris being a ditzy blonde, and to no surprise, she knew there was a huge business opportunity in the phrase itself, so she got it trademarked. Although it's not nearly as popular of a term as it was in the mid-2000s, I'm sure she's still profiting off of it as the trademark is used for anything she's involved in, including her clothing line and alcohol. Which, it's pretty hot.
Coming in at number 7, she played a character on The Rich Life. Paris is pretty well known for her baby voice and her signature phrase, "That's hot," but what a lot of people may not know is that this was actually a completely fabricated character that Paris made up for the show. Paris says that this baby voice persona started when she was really young and would beg her dad for things like pets or other things that she would beg for. She said that this voice even worked on her boyfriends when they would argue. The baby voice character was supposed to be cute and innocent and seemed to have worked on The Rich Life. Paris revealed that when she developed a voice for the show, she told herself that she should do it all the time. This became her signature thing, her brand, and her identity. It's only recently with the release of her YouTube documentary about her life that we come to see that this persona really hid the true Paris, so it's nice to see her come out of her Britney-esque shadow.
Now at number 6, she makes $1 million a night as a DJ. If you know, you know, and if you don't know, I'm about to tell you. Paris Hilton is a DJ and quite a successful one at that. It seems people either know all about her music career or don't, the same way people either know Shaq is also a DJ or simply have no clue what I'm talking about. Look it up, it's crazy. Going back to Paris, in a 2017 interview with W Magazine, the publication claimed that sources reported Paris is making about $347,000 an hour, or just around $1 million for a 3-hour set. 3 years later, it's unclear if her price has gone up, down, or remained the same. But given that she is once again making headlines, and is really pushing to rebrand herself, I feel her stock has only gone up. So maybe it's like 1.5 million for an Edna Ibiza, who knows.
Halfway through at number 5, New York Times best-selling author. Back in 2004, Paris released a book called Confessions of an Heiress, a tongue-in-cheek peek behind the pose, just shortly after founding Heiress Records as yet another business venture. The book was co-written by Merle Ginsberg. The novel gave fans an inside look on Paris's life and gives readers advice on life as an heiress, as if her fans were also heiresses or something, I don't know. There were a lot of people who kind of crapped on the book. One pretty harsh review from back back when the book was initially released reads, quote, "Confessions of an Heiress is a sad excuse for a book and is more of a professionally crafted scrapbook covered in photos of the star doing what she does best. Nothing." Harsh. Though the book was initially given some poor reviews, it eventually ended up on the New York Times bestseller list and ranked at number 7. A lot of people didn't take the book too seriously as it didn't really reveal much about the celebutante and instead advised her fans to wear tiaras and act ditzy. The underlying message of the book was basically just to have fun and laugh at yourself sometimes, which is a heartwarming message but does not match at all with the book's title as there was really no confessions.
At number 4, we got a fashion line for dogs. I knew that the dog fashion industry was big, as they sell winter jackets, rain boots, Halloween costumes, and who knows what else. It's always been a known thing that rich people always get dogs and dress them up, put them in their little Louis V bags. I don't know why, but it was always a thing. I'm not even rich, and I did it with my dog in the winter because, you know, it gets cold in Canada. He's got very short fur. Anyways, guys, it's not as fashionable as he could be. Say if he was wearing Paris Hilton Pet. I know, it's a very original name for her line, it's crazy. Interestingly enough, the products appear to only be sold in South Korea, and when converted to American, she's selling a black and silver metallic striped sweater for $45, a red frilly dress with cartoon eyes in the back for $82, and a pink dress with lace bow for $65. So, seems legit.
At number 3, she won an award for acting in House of Wax. In 2005, director Juan Colette Serra, if that's how you say your name, I'm sorry if I butchered it, decided to revive the 1953 horror film House of Wax, and in doing so decided to cast Paris Hilton as one of the unlucky characters who were destined to be killed off in the film's plot. Paris was killed off in the film around the 1 hour mark, so she made it about halfway through the movie, but unfortunately was still offed. However, this untimely on-screen death sort of paid off for the heiress. Upon the film's release, people seemed to have really enjoyed her performance, and she was nominated for a few film awards as a result. And good news for her, she actually won. She won the award for Best Scream at the Teen Choice Awards and Best Frightened Performance at the 2006 MTV Movie Awards. I guess her Paris persona isn't the only character that she's good at playing.
At number 2, she signed to Cash Money Records. Going back to her music career, Paris is really taking things seriously as she signed with the record label back in 2013. The label, which is helmed by Brian Williams, better known as Birdman, is responsible for putting on superstars in Drake, Lil Wayne, Nicki Minaj, and a handful of others. The popular hip-hop label decided to sign Paris after Birdman referred to their relationship as friends first and cited how she always supported them. He went on to explain, I quote, "She played us music and I was taken aback. I was impressed by her music and I didn't know she could sing so well." When asked about the criticism the label received for signing her, Birdman explained, "Controversy and all of that, it works for your benefit." Referring to the deal, he said, "It's being so talked about shows the strength of her popularity. I'm very excited. I'm very appreciative that she's part of the team. She's very talented and a beautiful young woman." So maybe we'll see like a Paris, Drake, Wheezy collab. Maybe throw some Bedrock Part 2 featuring Paris Hilton. I love it. I want it. I'm here for it. I want it. I need it.
And in our number 1 spot, she doesn't wear the same clothes twice. Raise your hand if you only wear your clothes once. Crickets? That's what I thought. Paris Hilton is so rich that she can afford the luxury of only wearing an article of clothing once. In a 2010 interview with the heiress, she revealed that yes, she only wears her clothes once unless it's a quote, cool pair of jeans or leather jacket. What? Paris also said that she has so many clothes in her wardrobe that there are so many that still have the tags on, and that if she's done wearing something or donates it to a charity to be sold at auction. On top of that, you know that she wears all designer clothing, so her clothes are already so expensive, and then she just gives them away? Paris, share your Gucci with me, please. Also, she didn't mention anything about shoes, so is this a gray area? Does she reuse the shoes, or do they get chucked too? I don't know.
So Paris Hilton. What an interesting woman.
Very, very interesting.
I think it's kind of crazy that she's she's a DJ and then she's music career and then she's got the fashion line.
She's doing everything. She's got her hands in every industry imaginable, and if it's not an industry yet, she'll make it one.
I was literally reading how she made influencers a thing.
Exactly. She's the godmother of influencers.
People don't talk about this enough. She made the selfie.
Yes. First, let me take a selfie. That was her.
Yeah, she did it all. She's the queen of it all.
Tana Mojo has her career to thank.
Tana Mojo's, this generation's Paris is probably Tana.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I never thought about that.
She's the descendant of Paris Hilton.
Wild. Wow. Great discovery. All right, guys. Well, for now, we're going to apply to some of your comments from the video. Torres claims to be cursed after stealing this. Corey with a Y, no E said, "That's why you don't steal." Yeah, I don't steal.
Just don't steal.
It's bad. Stealing's bad. Why?
It's a felony, guys. Don't steal.
Come on now. Then again, I think in certain states, I think smoking pot's also a felony. But I'm not comparing one to the other, guys. Just don't break the law.
Be good. Be a good person.
And just stealing in general is just like a bad thing to do. Just, you know, don't.
You stole that water bottle from the bar mitzvah.
Yeah, and you know what? It's true. It's true. I stole a water bottle from a bar mitzvah, and you know what? Whenever I drank it, it spilled all over me. So
You know why?
It's cursed.
Bad juju.
that's it. Bad juju. He's not wrong.
True Dat said, okay, I'm totally gonna blame 2020 on this chick, Nicole.
Nicole, if you're watching this, it's all your fault.
Sorry.
You guys hear that? It's Nicole's fault.
God damn it, Nicole.
Why do I exist? Said, don't steal history. Simple. History hates being stolen. It likes staying where it is. Yeah, I learned that from Indiana Jones. You just don't pick things up because then the big boulder's gonna come right down.
Again, bad juju.
That's it, guys.
Bad juju.
Nobody wants these bad vibes. Get out of here, bad vibes. All right, guys, that's all for this one. I've been one of your hosts, Jared Bronstein.
And I'm Bree Room.
And we'll see you guys soon. You just dab it out?
Yep.
Hey.
Always start off with a dab for the bloopers. Back in 2004, Paris released a book called Confessions of an Heiress, a tongue-in-cheek pick. A tongue-in-cheek peek. A tongue-in. Why did you have to do that, Paris? Why do you have to make things complicated? She won the award for Best Scream at the Teen Choice Awards and Best Frightened Performance.
Referring to the deal, he said, it's been so talked about. Referring to the deal, he said, it's been so talked about. What? It's been so talked about shows.
Sometimes Hollywood can feel like a pretty small town, with a lot of celebrities being connected by who they're dating or by which products they have worked on. But there are also a lot of familial connections too, and that's what I'm going to be filling you in on today. Hey, what's up, buyers? It's Mackenzie Smith here, and today on the channel I'm going to be filling you in on the top 10 celebrities you didn't know are cousins. And some of these are first cousins that I personally had no idea were related, while others are very distant cousins that might make your head scratch, but are very juicy nonetheless. But before I get into it, make sure to go down below and subscribe if you're new here and want to see more videos just like this one in the future. Okay, so now let's get into that list. Starting off at number 10, Brandy, Ray J, and Snoop Dogg. Singer Brandy, who is the sister of rapper Ray J, are both related to rapper Snoop Dogg, with them being first cousins. Brandy told the San Francisco Chronicle that she and her brother Ray J are related through Snoop Dogg's mother, Beverly Tate. Then telling them further, quote, my brother and Snoop really believe they're related, so I guess I'll just go along with it. Snoop also brought it up in an interview he did with MTV, saying, quote, Brandy is my first cousin. We never really told the world because we weren't tripping off that, but that's my family. Then when Snoop introduced Ray J on his YouTube show, he introduced him as, quote, my cousin, my family, my familia. So it's nice to hear they all seem to be really close to one another. And at number 9, Larry David and Bernie Sanders. So if you've watched SNL, then you know that Larry David does an unbelievable Bernie Sanders impression, absolutely nailing his accent as well as his obscure hand movements. But after his impression got so much buzz and people started putting them all together is when they found out they're actually distant cousins. In an episode of PBS's Finding Your Roots, David and Sanders found out that they're distantly related, with David telling reporters that Sanders is a third cousin or something. When Sanders found out, he was obviously shocked, saying, quote, you're kidding, oh my god, that's unbelievable. It's true? And I wasn't able to find more details on how they're actually related or the connection, but I can definitely see a resemblance. Let me know if you can below. And at number 8, Kate Middleton and Ellen DeGeneres. This one is another one that's of course, a bit of a stretch, but I want to keep it juicy, so I thought I'd let you know anyways. During an episode of The Ellen Show back in 2011, Ellen actually shared that she'd received a letter from the New England Genealogical Society stating that her and Kate Middleton were distantly related. According to the letter, the women are connected through a man named Sir Thomas Fairfax and his wife, Agnes Gascony, who lived in England in the 1500s. And that makes them 15th cousins. And of course, after learning of this connection, Ellen joked that she was definitely gonna be invited to the wedding now. Although she actually wasn't invited to either royal wedding, even though she low-key joked she deserved an invite to Meghan and Harry's wedding because Ellen is responsible for Meghan's true love, and that's her dog. As apparently the pair met at an animal shelter and Ellen told Meghan to get the dog she was holding at that time. In at number 7, Madonna and Angelina Jolie to Hillary Clinton. A Washington Post column revealed that Hillary Clinton has a lot of famous distant relatives, with the column claiming that Hillary and Madonna are 10th cousins, according to research by a Washington genealogist. Hillary is also a 9th cousin once removed to Prince Charles's wife, while Angelina Jolie is Hillary's 9th cousin twice removed. So it seems that Hillary has a lot of famous connections, but also when you're looking back that far, like I'm sure we might all be related to someone that's been in the spotlight at one point, right? In at number 6, Jenny McCarthy and Melissa McCarthy. So this one's a bit of a no-brainer as the women are very open about their connection. According to Us Weekly, Jenny helped Melissa get her Hollywood break when she was working on the sitcom Jenny in the 90s. Jenny has also been vocal about supporting her cousin against critics, with Jenny calling out some critics back in 2013 that spoke about Melissa's weight, with Jenny saying, quote, "I don't have the whole story, but I do know that after being in this business 20 years, it's really crummy that you get attacked for your personal life in general. She's very, very talented and people know that, so he can go to hell," she told E! News. But even though they have shared the occasional throwback picture and seem to be very cordial when they're seen together, there are rumors that the pair actually aren't very close. Melissa didn't attend Jenny's wedding back in 2014, with some speculating it was because a report came out saying that Jenny thought Melissa needed to lose weight to make it in Hollywood. But Jenny spoke out against this rumor, telling People magazine it couldn't be further from the truth. Halfway through at number 5, Nicolas Cage, Sofia Coppola, and Jason Schwartzman. All 3 actors are first cousins. Schwartzman's mother is siblings with Sofia's father, Francis Coppola, and Cage's father, August Coppola. Francis became the famed director of The Godfather and Apocalypse Now, while his daughter, Talia Schrein, starred as Adrian in the Rocky movies. Then the next generation also followed their family's footsteps and continued the family dynasty, with Francis's daughter Sophia and Talia's son Jason have each following their parents' footsteps into the entertainment industry, while Nicholas changed his family name and became a very successful actor, as well as becoming a huge meme among millennials. In at number 4, Meryl Streep to Glenn Close and Brooke Shields. Meryl Streep is related to Brooke Shields, as well as Glenn Close, with a very different relation to the both of them. Meryl and Brooke are actually second cousins once removed, and Meryl and Glenn are 15th cousins. And although second cousins can seem somewhat close, it's very unlikely that the two ever really got together in a familial way. But it is interesting that all 3 of these women are somewhat connected through Meryl Streep. In at number 3, Tom Cruise and William Maypother. Tom and William are actually first cousins. They're connected because their fathers are brothers. And if you're wondering why their last names are different, Tom Cruise's real name is Thomas Maypother. And another cool fact about these cousins is that they've actually starred in more than a few films together, with them both acting in Born on the 4th of July, Magnolia, Mission Impossible 2, Vanilla Sky, and Minority Report. And after looking at a few comparison photos, I can kinda see the resemblance, but it's definitely not as strong as some of these other cousins. In at number 2, Kate Moning and Gwyneth Paltrow. Kate Moning is very open about the fact that her aunt is the famed actress Blythe Danner, speaking very fondly about memories she had watching her aunt for the first time. But because Blythe is her aunt, that makes Gwyneth Paltrow her cousin, which is a relationship she doesn't seem to be as fond of. Although Kate is not as open about her relationship to Gwyneth, she did say that there is no tension between them and they go on trips occasionally. Kate did speak on the comparisons she gets between her and Gwyneth, saying that she fears cruel things from the public in terms of comparisons between her and her more famous cousin, but adding she doesn't feel that there's really any comparison based on how differently their lifestyles are, with Kate's friends giving her the nickname Alternative Gwen. Then adding, quote, "We're totally different people. We look very different too. I think that people would be able to point out the differences a lot more easily than they'd be able to point out the similarities," saying that she's happy for the most part she doesn't get compared to Gwen very often. And finally, number 1, Melissa Gorga and Ralph Macchio. The Real Housewives of New Jersey star is related to uber successful actor Ralph Macchio. The two are cousins, although it's not clear how distant that they are. But Melissa made it very clear that they're not very close to one another, with her telling the Huffington Post, quote, "We're like really distant cousins. Never met him. We always said it when we were little. It's through marriage, my Aunt Rosalie." Gorga also confirmed it on Twitter, where she tagged Andy Cohen, confirming that a statement on the show of them being cousins was true. So it doesn't seem like the pair have any bad blood, which is good, but I'm sure it's mostly just a case of really never being introduced. Okay everyone, that's all for this list. Let me know which relation shocked you the most. For me it was definitely Ellen and Kate Middleton, and the fact that they sent her a letter, like I guess that could have just been for the show, but if not, it's just wild. Okay, now before I go, I'm gonna shout out some comments from my Jeffrey apologizing to Trisha video. So Jen G said, "Okay, so we're paying attention to and believing Trisha again, just checking so I know what we're doing this week." Okay, to be honest, when it comes to the whole Tati drama, Trisha was actually sounding pretty reasonable and making actually a lot of good points. So even though she is a well-known liar and we've definitely called her out before on the channel, I really don't see why she'd lie about any of this. Then Seth Rollins said he apologized for the sake of his so-called reputation because Trisha can expose a lot about Jeffrey. That is definitely true. He definitely doesn't need any loose ends with all that kind of stuff that I'm sure she might have on him. Then Fluffy Pink Chaos said Trisha Paytas doesn't want the drama. What the F? Yes, she does. That's her whole life and channel. Honestly, I think for a second I forgot who I was covering and like low-key believed her, but I think she just more means like she loves getting into drama when she controls the narrative and like she's the one starting it. But I don't think she likes drama when it's stuff about her, and I don't think she just wants to be on Jeffree's bad side. Like, who really would be? I mean, I wouldn't. And especially if she is still close with Shane, like she doesn't want to burn that bridge because Shane and Jeffree are clearly always going to be friends. Then Justin said, early squad, I'm proud that Trisha rejected his apology. Yes, I said I was proud of Trisha. Honestly, same. The fact that she's so much against him and said that she can't be friends with someone who, you know, is like that, again, kind of gives me some hope that she really can be a reasonable person, like some of the time. Okay, everyone, that's all for me today. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it all the way here, I really appreciate it. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow us on Instagram to be kept up to date with all the news and tea you will ever need to know. And I'll see you all in the next one.
Some celebrity twins have quite literally made a name for themselves simply because they were twins. For example, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen in Full House and their numerous movies and TV shows, or the Sprouse twins in which Dylan and Cole starred in The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. But sometimes the twin doesn't decide to follow in the footsteps of their counterparts and leads a very low-key life out of the spotlight. Although some celebrity twins do work in the film and TV industry, both in front and behind the camera, others decided to work in politics instead. One's a teacher and another is a music composer. Today on InformOverload, we're counting down the top 10 celebrities you didn't know are twins. What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to IO. I'm your host for this video, Jared Bronstein. And if you have a twin, let me know in the comments down below. I've always wondered what it is like to have a twin. Some people say you have a bond that you can't explain, but you just get each other. Yet I feel that's the case with my brother, who's 4 years older than me. I think if you spend the majority of your life with someone from a young age and you get along well, that bond is inevitable. But I'm interested if twins do feel they're tighter to each other than their other siblings, like they have like some kinetic, way of knowing what they're thinking. I don't know. It's voodoo, it's magic. Also guys, stick around for some common replies, but for now, let's get right into it. Starting us off at number 10, Scarlett and Hunter Johansson. ScarJo is a massive star in Hollywood, so very few people know she is actually the older twin to her brother, Hunter. While being interviewed on Today, she joked that she was born 3 minutes before him. And, I quote, I beat him by 3 minutes, the 3 most important minutes of my entire life. Although they did both act in a film together, 1996's Manny and Lo, in which Scarlett played Amanda and Hunter played a small role as the son in the golf cart family, it seems he was more drawn to politics. In 2008, Hunter worked with the Obama administration, helping the former president get elected for his first term in office. Hunter also works with various charities and overall isn't in the spotlight too often, unless he's seen on the arm of his twin sister at a red carpet event. Now at number 9, Vin Diesel and Paul Vincent. You guys knew Vin Diesel's real name wasn't Vin, right? His last name isn't Vincent either, it's actually Sinclair. Well, technically it's Mark Sinclair Vincent, but he goes by Mark Sinclair. Well, I guess he goes by Vin Diesel, but that's his stage name. Either way, he has a twin, that's what this list is about. Vin's brother Paul works in Hollywood as well, behind the scenes. There isn't much known about the guy, and Vin keeps their relationship pretty low-key, although at one point he did post an image of the late Paul Walker next to his brother. Diesel captioned the photo to include, I quote, you see the other guy in the photo is also named Paul, and although they look more alike, he actually is my twin brother. Up next at 8, Kiefer and Rachel Sutherland. Not many people know about Kiefer's twin sister, Rachel, and that's likely because she is the sister of the star of the hit TV series 24, and the daughter of the incredible actor known as Donald Sutherland. Now it's fair to say when you are born into a family full of successful actors or celebrities in general, it's easy for the whole family to become famous. Take the Kardashians and Jenners for example. But oftentimes the entire family doesn't always want to follow in each other's footsteps, and it seems that's the case with Rachel. Still, with so many connections in the film and TV industry, you'd think at the very least she would find a way to keep working alongside her brother and father, even if it's not on screen. And it turns out that's exactly what she did, as Rachel is a post-production manager on hit shows such as Saving Hope, Rookie Blue, Lost Girl, and numerous other TV shows. Moving on to number 7, we got Ashton and Michael Kutcher. I didn't know Ashton Kutcher had a brother, let alone a twin brother, but with that being said, I don't really look much into people's families in general, so it's not surprising, I guess, that I didn't know that. Anyway, Kutcher's brother Michael claims that his brother showed him the love a brother has for another. Michael was born with cerebral palsy and had a heart transplant at just 13 years old. Unfortunately, this led to him getting bullied quite often from a young age, but Ashton would always stick up for his twin. Michael is an advocate for organ donation and disability rights, and Ashton explained how his twin changed his perspective on life for the better. I quote him saying, my brother was born with cerebral palsy and it taught me that loving people isn't a choice and that people aren't actually all created equal. We're all created incredibly unequal to one another in our capabilities and what we can do and how we think and what we see. But we all have the equal capacity to love one another. Dropping into the number 6 spot, Rami and Sami Malek. So as we know, Rami Malek has been in the spotlight for quite some time now. In September 2016, Rami became the first minority actor in 18 years to win the award for Best Lead Actor in a Drama Series for his performance on Mr. Robot. Although an LA native, his parents are of Egyptian descent, and following the win, Rami spoke on diversity in the industry, saying, I quote, For me to stand here as not the typical leading man and to have come home with this speaks a lot about where we're headed. As you likely know, he would go on to star as Freddie Mercury in the Queen biopic, Bohemian Rhapsody, but his brother Sammy chose a much different career. Unlike his superstar brother, Sammy works as a teacher educating the youth. Still though, the two look identical and Sammy teaches in LA, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's been approached a few times from some fans who think they're meeting the guy who won an Oscar for his portrayal of Freddie. Which also got me thinking, would he play into it or would he be like, no, I'm just his twin brother? Like, do you think if you saw Sami Malek on the street and you're like, oh my god, you're Rami Malek, would he be like, no, I'm his twin brother? Or would he play into it and be like, yeah, hey, do you want a picture? Or would he try to like sabotage his brother's career and be just like, no pictures today, I hate all my fans? It'd be a very interesting premise. Maybe we got like a Netflix series about twins that ruin each other's lives. I don't know. Halfway through our list of number 5, Angel and Aaron Carter. Unfortunately, things for Aaron Carter haven't been all that great, and his relationship with his family, including his twin sister Angel, is just as bad. Angel is a model, and after getting married to Corey Conrad in 2014, the two welcomed their first child into the world in January of 2019. Angel was walked down the aisle by Aaron at her wedding, but in 2019, both Angel and her older brother Nick Carter of the Backstreet Boys got restraining orders against Aaron. As per reports, Aaron threatened Angel and her infant daughter on September 5th, 2019 over the phone, telling Angel, I quote, I have people that would come and harm you. Nick also got a restraining order citing, I quote, Aaron's increasingly alarming behavior and his recent confession that he harbors thoughts and intentions of killing my pregnant wife and unborn child. We were left with no choice but to take every measure possible to protect ourselves and our family. Aaron responded saying he was astounded at the accusations being made and reiterated, I quote, I do not wish harm to anyone, especially my family. All I ask is for my family to leave me alone. This is blood, not love. I will never be around you and I don't want to be around you. In at 4, Aaron and Shawn Ashmore. These two have been confusing fans for years as they look almost the exact same. After all, they are twins. Shawn Ashmore is known for his numerous roles in film and TV such as Bobby/Iceman in the X-Men series and Terry Fox in the biopic about the Canadian athlete. Aaron is likely known for his work on shows such as Smallville as well as Lock and Key. He was also on Warehouse 13 and Killjoys, but personally, I've always been more of a fan of Shawn because when I was maybe 8 or 9 years old, I met him in Toronto during the film festival. Really nice dude, got a picture with him, and it's one of the many reasons I wanted to pursue acting. So Shawn, if you're ever seeing this, thanks man, appreciate you. Now number 3, Joel and Benji Madden. Growing up, I was a fan of Good Charlotte. Who wasn't? Yet many people aren't aware that the band's lead singer is twins with their lead guitarist. Joel and Benji Madden are most definitely twins, and although the band went on a bit of a hiatus, they're back at it again. Benji got married to Cameron Diaz, and the two just had a child together, while Joel ended up marrying Nicole Richie, who have gone on to have 2 kids together. Joel spoke on fatherhood saying, I quote, my kids give me a reason to be okay with myself. I don't feel the need to try and prove to the world that I'm anything at all, other than who I am to them. When I was younger, I think I felt like I needed to constantly sell something. I needed that validation, and that's what my family gave me. It's the first time I felt good enough. That's just beautiful to hear. You know, this is just me going off script real quick. That's lovely, and that's why I want a family. I always say I'm like excited to have a wife and children because I feel like, not to say, you know, I definitely do feel fulfilled in life, but I feel like a family is just, it's gonna give me like just an insane amount of purpose. Like this is my family now, and I love them so much. It's just how I feel, but they don't exist yet. I mean, I got parents and a brother. I love them too. Coming into the number 2 slot, John and Dan Heder. These two are identical, so I legitimately can't tell who's who in any picture I was able to find of them. John is likely known for his role as Napoleon Dynamite in the film with the same name, which is probably one of the biggest movies of the 2000s decade. I know that's a wild claim, but the 2004 film really was that big. It was parodied time and time again, and it seemingly put Heder in a position to become a household name. Aside from the numerous awards John won from the film, he would go on to star in numerous films and TV shows, but many people didn't know about his twin brother Dan until John's 2009 interview with David Letterman. He explained, I quote, we caused a lot of trouble by pretending to be each other. The memories still give me a good chuckle. Dan works on the behind the scenes side of things, working as an animator for the film Monster House, and being a part of the production team on films such as Avengers Endgame and Spider-Man Far From Home. Taking our number 1 spot, Laverne Cox and Em Lamar. If you're a fan of Orange is the New Black, then you likely recognize Cox as she portrays Sophia, a transgender woman on the show. The show did have a portion of flashbacks showing Sophia prior to her transition, in which she was a firefighter named Marcus. However, instead of having Cox play the part, they decided to audition males who resembled Cox. That is, until they found out that Cox has an identical twin brother, Em Lamar, who they invited to audition. He would end up booking the part, and to no surprise, did an incredible job. As per Lamar's website, he, I quote, works across opera, metal, performance, performance, video, sculpture, and installation to craft sprawling narratives of radical becomings. Cox also became the first openly transgender person to be nominated for an Emmy in any acting category, and is also the first to have a wax figurine of herself at Madame Tussauds Museum. And there you guys have it for the top 10 celebrities you didn't know are twins. Let me know which one surprised you the most in the comments down below, and which ones you already knew were twins. I wanted to troll like a little bit and put the Olsen twins on here, but I'm not that gutless. I was like, I'm not gonna do it to them. They'll get mad. I'll just have a little joke at the end about it. So there's the joke. Haha. Either way guys, for now let's reply to some comments from the video. Kanye West says God told him to interrupt Taylor Swift at the VMAs. Kayla said Taylor gets humiliated on national television. God, LOL, get wrecked, noob. So I laughed when I read that comment, and it's just funny. Because I imagine God just looking down, having some popcorn, watching Taylor like, and God's just like, idiot. Like, I don't know why, it's very funny imagery. So thank you for that comment, Kayla, that was funny. Kit Hurd said he has such a weird obsession with Taylor Swift. I saw a lot of you guys also saying like he was just trying to stay relevant, which it is possible. He's just a controversial guy. I know he was diagnosed, he is bipolar, but I think personally, I think he knows how to stay relevant. And I think like things like this, when he says stuff like this, I feel like maybe he kind of, you know, tries to find ways to get the people continuously talking about him. Obviously there are certain times that we've seen him go through manic episodes, like when he was doing his, I think it was in South Carolina, his short little rally for president. But I think situation like this, again, we can't forget who he's married to. He's married to Kim, and Kim is related to Kris Jenner, and Kris Jenner leaked Kim's tape, which made her famous. So I think Kris Jenner might have a hand in Kanye's PR as well, having him stay relevant and having people always talk about him. Just a thought, I don't know. Mila said, sorry, but Beyonce is way too overrated. Well, you better hope Kanye doesn't see that comment, because Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. It wasn't even just that year, it was all time. Anyways guys, that's all for this one. I've been your host, Jared Bronstein, and we'll see you guys soon. Guys got like 7 different names, man. Up next at number 8, Kiefer and Rachel man. Halfway through our list at 5, Angel and Aaron Carter. I'm gonna take that again, I took a little break. God told him to interrupt Taylor Swift at the VMAs. Just a thought, I don't know.